Alright, on the random dartboard of second channel content, I've hit the cartoon review video bed. What show do I even want to review? Oh, I got it. We live in a society where there are platforms where you can make any form of content to your own heart's consent sometimes. Yeah, the website's called YouTube, but I think you missed the tiny little asterisk in the logo that says, and I quote, not really Lamau. With that, there are truckloads of animated works that are potentially worth your time in a fraction of ways conceivable. Terrible segue transitions into Galaxy Rivals, a series created by JahealLalinYT that currently has 2 episodes to its name. Now before I dig deep into whatever the hell this is supposed to be, I assume that you're all taking this as a response video after Jaheal completely ravaged and demolished Hero and the Weather Children.
Is it fucking Speedy McSpeederson?
You all think this is gonna be a charged response from me saying, oh, you're wrong, plus ratio, when it's gonna be more of a, alright, tough guy, let's see what you've got kind of deal. I just want to take a slightly critical, probably unorganized, and mostly stupid look at this series for myself. Now, again, I'd like to go ahead and say that this video is not meant to cause harm in any way. I'm not going to try and hurt anyone's feelings. If any joke or jab I make in this video comes off as targeted, then my bad. It's kind of just like a for fun thing, you know. No offense to anyone. I just like making funny jokes at other people's expense. Now, with that being said, it's Galaxy Rivaling time. Episode 1 starts off with one of those disgusting black creatures from Shadow the Hedgehog gabbing about being the villain and wanting to be the most powerful rap god in the galaxy. Anyway, the real episode starts with Troy Baker, a kid who's underwhelmed by school after he and his mother moved there an undisclosed amount of time ago. His mom signed him up for a space summer camp, much to his delight. He gets to the camp and meets evil SpongeBob, who serves his purpose as a gag and then returns to inside the cabin walls. Troy runs a charity marathon and is granted permission to visit space. Uh-oh, the aliens have come to kill us all! That big buff guy we saw at the beginning has come to take Troy's specifically to extract some of his blood. Is this the Doomslayer EDP-445? Anyway, The Rock dipped in relish, kidnaps and imprisons Troy for denying consent. The cellmate Troy was paired with tells him to click a button, but then pulls a 180 and says to tap his own nose instead. Troy does, and the cellmate commits /kill at S, which transitions into Troy gaining blue hair and pronouns. Buff guy finds Troy and tries to gun him down before a trio of kind of not bad character designs come to the rescue, known as the Space Racists. Troy says,
Yup, I think I'm gonna like it here.
And then the episode concludes.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I'll give this the benefit of the doubt, or however the saying goes. Episode 1, or the pilot, is clearly where the general groundwork was being formed. By that, I mean it's clearly under construction. Understandably, not everything was fully finalized, and the flaws with this episode are more than apparent. The animation flip-flops between animators, which isn't a concept new to animation at all. The thing is, it's way more blatant here, because with every change in animation, there's also a change in character style as well. For the most part, the animation is fine, it does what it's supposed to do. There are some animation styles in the 6-minute runtime here that I prefer more than others in the exact same short, but I get it. Animation is hard, I'm just saying it's a mixed bag. The audio is also pretty mediocre. Voice acting is pretty okay. Some lines come off as a bit strange for me, but it's something that I can excuse. Some characters, namely Green Bonesaw and the Invader Zim over there, have voice filters. The former isn't my cup of tea, and the latter is okay. The one voice actor who voices all the girls is speaking mainly in one of my ears, and I don't know how to feel about it, so I'm gonna put a meme here.
Uh-oh, looks like the meth is kicking in.
Every other character is standard in acting for this lower level of indie. The sound effect management is kind of strange, but I can kind of see a strange charm in it. Some sound effects are done with voices, which is both weird and cool to an extent. This helps the series have a slight unique identity, in my personal opinion. It's like how in Crash Twinsanity, the entire soundtrack is an acapella, but if they only went halfway with that idea. Speaking of, the soundtrack is nothing really to speak on. Most sound like stock epic music you download from from the Kindmaster Marketplace, but standard. Overall, not the worst thing mankind's been responsible for. I've made way worse videos in my time on the platform, but while this doesn't reach the bottom of the barrel, it was a little too close for comfort on the edge into there. Episode 2 kicks off with the first left off. Troy's getting to know the Space Razors, and we finally get to know who's who. The girl one is Lanessa, the Zim guy is Zako, and the blue one is Mythicus. Lanessa touches on the subject of Alexander Aliens, apprentice of Lexus.
Disgusting black creature.
And at that, the most powerful one, the universe. We cut to an E3 show with Lexus as the host. He's describing details for a new game involving catching Troy and asks for volunteers. Alexander raises his hand and Lexus puts him up to the task, but now without giving him his very own GERD. It's just like in the sixth greatest introduction sequence in cinema history plays, followed by Light Rocket Ship Antics, which itself is followed by an I hope something exciting happens joke. An alarm goes off and the Razors investigate. Lanesha blushes at Troy. You've known him for 3 seconds. What do you want with the fuck?
Hey y'all, Scott here.
Oh wait, it's out. The fight scene of all time plays out as we get a look at everyone's powers. Alex has the Mega Man blaster, Zako has the blaster built into his arm, Lanessa has the spear, Mythicus has telekinesis, and Troy's Plastic Man. Alexander retreats and Troy is praised for being able to stretch his arm like 2 feet in front of him. That delighted them, then they clearly have never experienced peak fiction before. Cut to Alex telling Gur, aka Hummer, to prepare the secret weapon, which turns out to be the final boss from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Cut once more to Space Rangers treating Troy like he's the long-awaited sequel to Jesus Christ when kaboom, it's an ambush! Fight then busts holes into the ship occurs and it crash lands onto the planet known simply as Ukraine. Alex reports back to Lexus, evil laugh happens, and we close out with everyone gaining confidence as they try and fix the Q ending. This episode is an overall noticeable upgrade from the last. The animation is a step up most definitely. The styling issue from the pilot isn't as big as an issue for me here, and while there are some styles that I prefer over others, my least favorite art style here is one that I like more than my least favorite in the pilot, so take that as you will. The first few seconds of the episode come with the whiplash of new voices. Vanessa sounds like a Nerf Miaba, Zako's British, and Mythicus sounds pretty much the same from the pilot as with Troy, but I'm pretty sure he's voiced by a child. Nothing wrong with that, I just hate children. Alexander and Hummer were pretty good. You might have to turn up the volume to fully comprehend what gibberish is leaving Lexus' non-existent mouthful. Don't turn it up too much though, because your ears might... Sound effects are a bit more standardized, which is appreciated. As much as the mouth sounds from the pilot were kinda cool, they were clearly placeholders. The music has, as far as I can tell, a single original composition that you'll hear more than once throughout the episode. I can hear what they were going for in the track, but whoever cooked this needs to be put back on training ASAP. I got salmonella from it. Overall, while the second episode is a clear step in the right direction for the series, I'm still smelling a hint of meh, and I don't think it's coming from me this time. Here's the section that I thought would really make people think that I'm salty over the response video Jaheal made on Hero. I'm not, guys, I swear. Since in his review video of Hero and the Weather Children, Jaheal at times would compare Galaxy Rivals to the show, I thought that I, as an outsider with not too much involvement in the fundamentals of both series, would compare them based on whatever I want to compare. I'll specifically focus on Season 1 of the original Hero because it would probably be unfair to compare 2 episodes of one show to 2+ seasons of another and a redo of that first episode with improvements in mind. That's like episode count wise, comparing Gravity Falls to Teen Titans Go. Anyways, let's kick things off with Hero and the Weather Children in its infancy is a very rough-looking show. Characters are lacking in some human body parts, namely ears and necks. However, with every passing episode, it can kind of be observed that while the art still isn't the greatest, there is the presence of improvement in the air. Since as far as I know, Adventures, the creator, was the only artist for these episodes. The art style established here is fairly standardized. What you see is what you get. Hero isn't necessarily animated. The show is essentially a colored animatic. While I, and I'm sure many others, would have preferred animation, it's a hard time-consuming process. To make up for the lack of general movement, Hero often uses editing effects to give a sort of illusion of animation. On the other side of the coin, Galaxy Rivals is a fully animated show with multiple animators, similar to how things work in full network-funded cartoons. While this does, for many, make it a better experience to watch than the former show, the issue of standardization that is mostly absent in the former appears in the latter. Some animation styles won't be everyone's cup of tea, but overall, in my opinion, most styles aren't anywhere near deal breakers for the show. In my opinion, both shows have some similar issues when it comes to voice acting. The mic quality for actors has a range way too big. At some points, delivery on lines feels underwhelming or unfitting to how it looks.
I don't, because it's an endless pool of misery and despair.
It's very windy. Wait, please don't tell me it's starting now.
Yeah, dude, you and your new powers, like the stretchy arms and super strength.
Oh, hey Brandon. I was
We're all doomed! We're all doomed! We're all doomed!
Oh man, is everyone okay? Oh, damn, your eye looks bad.
The voices of both villains are coded in Voice Changer, and you could probably exchange voices between them and get the same idea around. If they ever do a crossover, they should switch the voices and see if anyone notices. Hey, this is gonna be the section where I basically kind of roasted Galaxy Rivals, saying it only had like one original track and the rest of it sounded like stock music you'd download from like a free website somewhere. Upon re-listening, it seems like it had like more, especially in the second episode. The second episode is just like a general full upgrade, but basically I'm just gonna re-record this entire bit like without a script or anything. In episode 1, it was mainly just like one song that sounded like you download from somewhere free. In the second one, it's more like some original stuff, but for Galaxy Rivals, there are quite a bit of sound effects and some music that seems like it could have fit in certain places, but it didn't. Here in The Weather Children, uses like copyright music and stuff, but it does have its own original stuff, and I like the original stuff from there more than the one in Galaxy Rivals, but to each their own, you know? I had to re-record this entire thing because I'm a stupid child and I don't know what I'm talking about. Shipping verb. Support or have a particular interest in the romantic pairing between two characters in a fictional series. Shipping isn't my personal forte. I'm not big into fantasizing about two unreal characters dating when I myself get no bitches on the daily for being a Sonic fan. I won't knock you for being into shipping unless you're a Snail shipper, to which I wish you a lively trip down a flight of Lego stairs. That being said, the shipping in these shows is so stupid, it makes me want to take a cold shower. In Hero's case, Jacob seems to spark a crush on Selena based on looks alone. Whether this was formed in universe earlier is unknown to me, which would probably help validate this ship just a pinch more. Anyway, an episode later, Hero catches Tornado from a wicked fall, and they gaze into each other's eyes. Ooh, how romantic. In Rival's case, it's more blatant in the media surrounding the show than the show itself. In episode 2, Lanessa has a single blush moment when she takes a quick glance at Choi. You know, go on. In some art and media from Jaheal himself, Lanessa, and sometimes Choi, does the blushing thing again. So indeed, shipping is an official thing that occurs here, and as someone who did the same sort of thing with my own characters, sometimes even now, except most of them are in established relationships, I have a personal distaste for it. You see, she wants to bang him, he wants to bang her, they want to bang each other, and I want to bang my head. What the fuck?
I'm fine.
I feel like these two shows are on similar levels. They're both clearly unprofessional projects with their own set of advantages and disadvantages. Some people are gonna prefer Hero and the Weather Children to Galaxy Rivals and vice versa.
Somebody!
All in all, Galaxy Rivals is a show that does indeed exist, and there isn't really anything we can do about it. I can clearly see the appeal of the series, and I think it's a nice little romp so far. It's being worked on by some talented individuals that I feel could make this series amazing. I look forward to the future of the series. On a scale from bleak to peak fiction, I'm putting it on the better than Atmount tier. If you guys like this video, want me to do more reviews of cartoons that I have no business talking about, tell me in the comments and I might consider it. Thank you, and I will see y'all when I see y'all.